Okay, so we want to convert the following English units to metric units, and we don't need to show our working. Now, the first example, the first part of this question is 100 miles into feet. Well, the ratio of feet to miles is basically 5280 feet corresponds to 1 mile. Of course, I can do it the other way. I can actually put it as 1 mile over 5280 feet. Now, so I could use either one, but it depends on what I'm actually working on. If I'm working out, if I want to calculate the amount of feet, right? If I want to calculate the amount of feet, as in this question here, I want to find out the amount of feet in 100 miles. I'll basically multiply. Basically use this one instead of this one, because with this one I'll put 100 miles. I'll multiply by 100 miles, right? And what will happen? So unit mile times log mile. And so what I'm remaining with, I'll remain with feet. My unit will be in feet. That's exactly what I want. You see, if I multiply by mile here, what will happen? Look at this, what will happen? I wouldn't be able to cancel, so I end up with miles squared because put this over one. Mile times mile will be miles squared over feet. So nothing cancels really. So it would make sense to use this one. All right. It would make sense to use this one. So this is the one we'll actually use. And my answer will actually be 5 to 8,000 feet. So 5 to 8,000 feet. All right. Now, let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. All right. So this is not part of the original question given. All right. Not part of the original question given. But what if we were given, all right, what if we're given feet? So for example, let's say we got 380,000 feet. I want to convert to miles. Which one of these will we multiply by? Think about it. In terms of canceling, remember, we want our answer in miles. We want to go from 380,000 feet to miles, right? To miles, right? We wouldn't use this one because let's try use that one and see what will happen here, right? If we multiply this by 380,000 feet, what will happen exactly? You see, we would not be able to cancel miles with mile. Basically, it would be feet squared over miles. That doesn't make sense. So it makes sense to have, it makes sense to, okay, let me just quickly do that again. It makes sense to multiply the 380,000 feet by this unit, by this ratio here, 1 mile to 5,280 feet. So feet will cancel off feet, and our unit will be in miles. Because what will happen is that 1 times 380,000 will be 380,000, right? And mile, because you have mile on top, right? And if you think of this as over 1, then it's 3280 times 1 will be 5280. And so you basically simplify these. Just calculate and simplify these, and your answer will be in miles. Okay, so that's the idea. So that was helpful. So we can basically figure out how we'll basically work out the others. All right, so let's go on to the others. So what we have for the others, that's the B portion. Then we have the others here. So, oh, we have to calculate 5,280, well, 528,000 feet into inches. 528,000 feet into inches. So we need a ratio for that. All right, so what we know, the conversion between feet and inches, well, we know that 12 inches, right, will give us 1 feet. Well, 1 foot, my bad. So we know 12 inches will give us 1 foot. And either we're gonna have the feet on top or the inches on top. But since we're trying to find in inches, right? So we're trying to find it in inches, we're gonna put the inches on top. That only makes sense. Well, let's see. So we have 12 inches. So what are we trying to find goes on top? 12 inches over 1 foot. Got it correct this time. I'm gonna multiply. Remember, I said I want what I'm trying to find on top. I'm trying to find inches. So I put it on top. So what I'm gonna multiply by is what we're given, which is a 528,000 feet. And so what will happen here is that feet, well, foot will cancel with feet. Just the unit, just think of this as just feet, right? The FT is feet. So feet cancel feet. And what you're left with as a unit is inches. And so we multiply 12 by 528,000, and that will be in inches. Using my calculator, 528,000 times 12, that will be 633,600. And it's interesting that they're basically using this. So I guess you could just, well, I guess what they want to see working. So make sure you have this down, and you know your answer is going to be 633,611, well, 000, right? And they actually said they want working. So some smart person might figure out, okay, all right, this goes here, and this will go here, and this will go. You understand? So they want to see the working. So I guess this is important here for this one. All right, so let's do the next part, which is we're trying to convert from inches to centimeters, from inches to centimeters. All right, so what we do know that going from inches to centimeters, I think I should wipe this off, but this might just be a little bit nasty here. All right, so now we've gotten that clean. All right, so let's go from inches to centimeters. All right, what do we know about the conversion between those? We know that 2.54 centimeters actually give us 1 inch. All right, not 1 inches. All right, so we're trying to find centimeters, right? So centimeters go on top, an inch goes below. All right, and we're gonna multiply. We're gonna multiply by what we're given, which is the inches there, which is 633,600 inches, right? And so what's going to happen here is that in terms of the unit, I'm going to put the division line over 1 here, right? So this cancel with this, goes once, and 2.54 times this amount, right? So 6,336,000, all right, multiplied by 2.54, and it does give us this that we have here. So that's going to be 16,093,440. All right, so this is the working for it. All right, so next, we want to move from centimeters to meters. And of course, you need to know the conversion between centimeters and meters. So what's it? You know, 100 centimeters give you 1 meter. All right, 100 centimeters give you 1 meter. And since we're trying to find meters, we're going to put the meter on top. Remember, what you're trying to find goes on top, right? So we're going to have 1 meter multiplied, well, divided by 100 centimeter, right? So you have 1 meter per 100 centimeters. Be the other way around as well, but we just want it like this because we're trying to find what? Centimeters. We're going to multiply by, sorry, we're trying to find meters. So we put meter on top, put centimeters below. So we're going to multiply by centimeters now. 6093440 over 1. All right, remember this means multiplied. All right, and so this will actually, how this will work out now. So remember, this is actually centimeters here. So centimeters will cancel centimeters. And we're going to divide this by 100. All right, so we end up with what? So we end up with 16,093,440 over 100. And of course, divided by 100, think of it as this move back two places. All right, so we end up with 16,093,4.40. This will be our answer. All right, so that's 16,093,4. Now, if you realize it's the same thing that they have here, but we have a 0.40, which is ignored in this case. All right, the 0.40, they didn't put it here. But the answer is actually this. All right, we're not supposed to be following this really. It's just that they design it that way to make it interesting, I guess. Let's move on to the next one. All right, so we're looking between meters and kilometers. Now, of course, when we hear kilometer, we think about 1,000 meters. So we know 1 kilometer is the same thing as 1,000 meters. All right, so we're trying to find kilometers. All right, now what you're trying to find goes on top. So we have 1 kilometer over, or we can say 1 kilometer per 1,000 meters. Now we're going to multiply by what we're given, which is 160,934 meters. And so what happens here is that meters cancel meters. And so we have 160,934. A second. Yeah. And we're dividing by, okay, so think of this as over 1. And so 1 times this is same amount. And 1,000 times 1 is 1,000. And so this will be, well, be 1,000 here. And so the small point will 3 places inwards, we end up with 160.934 kilometers. So 160.934 kilometers. And that's it. Remember, what you're trying to find goes on top.